Hello everybody. Welcome to my talk about Satya, which means truth. Today we will talk about the different levels of truth, how understanding truth is not as simple as some of us may think. And we will talk about how we can apply these truths into our lives. Sorry for my disheveled appearance. I just ran back from my work. I was kind of busy and time got away from me. But let us begin. Let's start with a moment of silence. Closing the eyes. We will check in with ourselves. Running our awareness through our entire being. Finding any areas that may be holding tension around the joints, beneath the shoulder blades, and the neck, or the face, and gently releasing that tension. And settling in to a place that is familiar, intimate, within our heart. And resting here. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to do. And so just relax and enjoy. Truth is a concept which everyone is familiar with. From the youngest age, our parents and our teachers have told us again and again to be honest, to tell the truth. And so from this place, everyone can understand truth in a very superficial way. Truth is easy. It is being honest, not telling falsehoods or things that we know not to be true. And this is worldwide perceived as a good thing. So why would anyone not tell the truth? Well, we can think about a child who's maybe gotten a cookie that they weren't supposed to, and now the adult in their life, the teacher, the parent, is angry at them. And this angry parent, the life giver, comes to them and they say, "Did you take that cookie?" And the little child, in tune with their parent or their teacher, can feel this anger. They can feel this tangible sense of trouble. I am in trouble. The world is not right. And so, what can this child do to make all of this trouble go away? Well, they can say they didn't take the cookie. Now there's no reason for the parent to be angry, and the whole thing just goes away. And so, not telling the truth can come about as a form of inconvenience, as a form of convenience, of being able to tell people what they want to hear so that they don't feel bad, so that any hurt feelings magically evaporate. And imagine what a wonderful tool this is for a child, that all the troubles in life can go away just by saying the right words. most people, as they grow older, they tend to grow out of this. They tend to mature, and the lying becomes less and less. There are some professions, high-stake jobs, where lying is still good, and there are some cultural instances or people who are raised in areas or times where they value the results more than the actual truth. But I would say, by and large, these are the exceptions to the rule. This truth that I've been talking about, as I said, is something that everyone is intimate from a very young age. We've all been told this. And this intimacy can oftentimes be a block to further delving into the concept of truth. People say, oh, I know what truth was. I've known it for a long time. I'm familiar with it. I know it. And because of this hubris, this arrogance of I already know, there's no need to go back and try and understand it deeper. And so most people don't. It's pretty common not to. But now, with our mature minds, with our adult sensibilities, I think it may be time to go back and look and see how much deeper we can go than the shallow level into truth. The truth that we've been talking about so far comes from a personal sense of truth. I see the truth. I tell the truth. You are honest. You be truthful to me. It's this understanding of truth that is seen through the lens of a human consciousness that is personal to each being. And this isn't wrong. Everyone has their own personal truths, and this is a beautiful aspect of the reality of this world and humanity as we know it. But this truth, this lens of our consciousness through which we see the truth and through which we speak the truth, adds a layer between what is actually true and how we perceive reality. I'm reminded of an image that I saw where there's these two people standing face to face, and on the ground in front of them is a Roman numeral. From one side, the person sees the Roman numeral and it looks like a 6. The other person sees the same image upside down, and to him it is a 9. And they are arguing, it is a 6, no, it is a 9. Well, neither one of them is wrong, and both of them are telling the truth. But it is this way that the personal consciousness, our perceptions, act as a lens and distort what is actually true, and it becomes our personal truths. And so now we arrive at the next level of understanding. We go from our personal truth, what we perceive and know as true, to what is universally true, to what is true regardless of our perceptions or our understanding. This can be very difficult. Oftentimes, to perceive this truth or to understand this truth, you have to question very deeply held beliefs. You have to question the truth that your senses are telling you. This can be very difficult. A lot of times there's grasping, there's attachment to this truth. This is what your parents told you, or this is what you've learned from experience, and it can be very disconcerting to let go of this truth, to embrace a higher truth. And yet the truth exists. If we were to wipe away all of humanity, there would still be an underlying truth, whether it is perceived or whether it is spoken or not. As a good example of this, I find it useful to look at a tree. A tree has no perceptions. A tree cannot say, I am a tree, and that is my truth. Because then maybe a termite comes and he says, you are not a tree, you are food. Or a human comes and he says, you are not a tree, you are shade, or lumber. Or a bird comes and says, you are not a tree, you are my home. And so what seems very evident maybe to the tree, that it is a tree, is now not the truth for these other beings. But the tree does not say, I am a tree. He does not grow and proclaim mighty oak, or the ashy yew, or whatever kind of tree. They have no need to speak their truth, to articulate that truth out. They merely unfurl their leaves, grow their branches, and proclaim, "Thus I am tree," by the mere fact of existing. Yes, I like that concept. When we have truth, this personal truth, as I was speaking about before, going through the lens, we articulate that truth. We say the truth. And in this way, we are trying to put words to something that by the mere act of articulating creates layers. It obfuscates the actual truth. Something is lost in the translation of what actually is into our attempt to understand, to grasp with the mind. We don't have to say, "I am." We simply are. This is truth. This is the truth of the universe. It exists. It flows. It is. And it needs no words. It needs no perceptions. It needs no senses. And this is the deeper level of truth, at least what I've found so far in my path. Yes, it's very beautiful. That's a truth which we can experience and live and hold in our hearts. To be able to perceive this truth without the layers of the mind and the perception and knowledge requires an ability to see ourselves not from within ourselves, not to be looking out through these eyes, to be feeling from this heart, but to step outside of our being and to look in. And with that same looking in, we can look into the universe, whether it be in our hearts or in the stars or anywhere. This requires the practice of mindfulness. This requires a stillness of the heart, a stillness of the mind, and a stillness of the body to be able to perceive and hold this truth, to be able to be aware of it and just rest in it. This truth, it just is. It doesn't require us to do anything. We don't have to go searching for it. We don't have to go looking for it. We don't have to study old tombs of ancient knowledge. We don't need to have insights strike down upon us from upon high in the heavens or whatever fanciful place you can think of. It just is. All that is required for us to see this truth is to tap into that mindfulness, to let go of our attachments, to let go of our thoughts, and just rest. Rest in the truth. These are pretty lofty concepts, I know. To bring it back to practical experience and how it has helped me, my truth, my personal truth, had been one of a narrative based on what I thought I had understood the world as being, of what my senses had told me, of what my elders had told me, of what I'd learned in school, and what I'd been taught by the zeitgeist of culture at large. In my experiences, growing up and doing the things I have done, I've been told that I am supposed to be a certain way, that I am a man, and as a man, I am supposed to be strong, that I'm not supposed to be weak. And from various sources throughout my life, strength has been defined as this sort of imperviousness, this resistance to being hurt or being damaged, to this ability to bottle up and hold in my emotions, what's really going on. It's this sense of, you can't hurt me because I am so strong. I am invulnerable to anything that you may say or do because I am so strong. And so I went through life like this, thinking that strength was allowing things that I didn't like or I didn't agree with to just roll off my back like so much water in the shower. And in this way, I wasn't actually being strong. I wasn't withstanding the stimulus that occur in anybody's life. Instead, I was suppressing. I was ignoring. And I've come to find out through wonderful teachings in my own spiritual practice that what I once thought was strength, what society and culture in my times have told me is strength, is actually cowardice. This is refusing to face what's in front of you. If you're scared or angry or hurt, or if somebody wrongs you, instead of looking at this honestly and seeing what effects it has had on your heart, what this has done to you, what this has made you feel, what your reactions were. Instead of doing all of this, I just hid my head in the sand like an ostrich. I refused to see because I thought this was strength. It was, oh, this isn't going to affect me, this is nothing, and I'm going to go on and not care. And this apathy, this not caring, like I said, was actually cowardice. This was me not having the strength to face up to my own feelings, to my own heart. Real strength, I've come to learn, in my opinion anyway, is looking at these things straight on, saying, yes, that hurt me. My heart hurts. And to allow that hurt to occur honestly, and to look at it, to know it. And if it makes you cry, if it makes you lash out in anger or pain, that's okay. That's natural, that's human. That's what it means to be alive. That's love for yourself. And now, I can do this sometimes, not always. It's still a work in progress. But I cry now, and I laugh, and I get angry, and then I feel the emotions, and I marvel at how beautiful it is to be human. And it's not weakness. I feel strong. Now I'm not carrying this baggage along with me any longer. I'm not carrying these dark emotions that are twisting my heart anymore. I've learned that through the process of feeling what's real and what's actually there, this truth, then I don't carry it around with me anymore. My being is lighter. I'm a happier person. And so that's a deeper level of truth that I have found. And it's still just my truth. Your truth may be different. It's not some universal truth. It's my truth that I've gleaned from the universe. I'm still searching for that universal truth. I'm still resting and seeking the clarity to see it. Yes. I believe that's all I have to say. I can think of nothing else. I feel that's not a detailed analysis of the subject, but just a few thoughts that have been bouncing around in my head, and I hope that they spark some sort of insight or lead you to your own thoughts that maybe lead you further than I've gotten. Thank you for listening. We will close with a moment of silence. Resting universal truth, open and accessible to all. We contemplate the nature of truth. Perhaps it occurs to us that truth is merely the act of the universe existing, of saying, thus, I am. When we allow truth to enter our hearts, we are letting what is just be. We are allowing love into ourselves. For what is truth but love? Very nature of existence. Namaste. I love you all.